studio time check says it's 35 minutes past 6 a.m. Today is the fourth day in the ninth month of the year 2025. A wonderful Thursday morning right here in the studios of World's Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. Thank you so much for tuning in, our dear listener. Thank you for joining us this morning. The show is Perspectives Unlimited. You're listening to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, where your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of Oyo State. And we're broadcasting live from Wells Broadcasting House, which is located along Alaafin Avenue, Oluyole State, Ibadan. I welcome you. I say welcome, good morning, and God bless you. This morning, the program is Perspectives Unlimited, and we'll be taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. We'll take a look at these stories. We'll discuss them. Our analysts will analyze the stories. We'll go beyond the news and help you make sense of all of these stories, okay? Now, before we get into, why we're here, I'd like you to follow us on social media. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X at Wells Radio 893. Also, you can want you to like our Facebook page right now, our fan page that is specially created for you, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Go on Facebook now and like that fan page. You'll be able to watch us live. Yes, for everything we do, you'll be able to see it live in the studios. Also, if you need to travel, or if you have someone who is out of the country and wants to watch Wells Radio as they should, tell them it's very easy to do that. It's by going to our website, www.wellsradio893.com. I'll take that again, www.wellsradio893.com. That is how they'll be able to watch us live. Alternatively, they can also watch us live, listen live via radioguardian.com, onlineradiobox.net as well. All right, my name is Bolanle Oduekun-Ayoola, and this morning we're taking a look at the headlines that are making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. We'll start with the Punch newspaper this morning, where the lead headline says APC opposition clash over federal government's revenue growth claim. The writer says present counterfacts, presidency tells critics. Revenue nothing without results, says opposition. Economists query Tinubu's no more borrowing assertion amidst 13 trillion naira deficit. You find that story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Security concerns behind visa cancellations for Nigerians and others. That's from the US. That story is on page 12. My reforms have restored Nigeria's global respect, says Tinubu. That's on page 7. Non-oil revenue jumps 40% to 20.6 trillion naira. That's from the presidency. You find that story on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. NARD insists on strike, says over 2,000 doctors owed. You find that on page 7 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines. MTN, 15 others remit 54 billion naira in education and police taxes. That's on page 19. Terrorists recruited 1,364 West African children, shot 14,000 schools. That's from the UN. That's on page 7. And we have these 3 killed in Lagos Masquerader Festival clash. That's on pages 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And in picture stories, we see protesters marching during a demonstration organized by families of Israelis held hostage by Palestinian militants in Gaza Strip, demanding their release and for a ceasefire in the war in Gaza. So that's what we see here. The protests happened yesterday. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, the lead headline says, I can end banditry in 2 months. That's an audacious statement from the Zamfara State Governor. He says, I swear to Almighty Allah, wherever a bandit's leader is located within Zamfara State, I know it. And if he goes out, I know. With my mobile phone, I can show you where these bandits are today. That story is on pages 3, 4, and 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. More headlines. 29 die in Niger, both mishap. You find it on page 12. Northern Elders Forum call for state of emergency on insecurity. That's on page 29. Northeast governors meet Tinubu, seek oil exploration and roads completion. You find that on page 11. Federal government introduces AI robotics in new curriculum. That's on page 31. And touts chase couple to death in Abuja. That story is on page 28 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. In picture stories, you see President Bola Tinubu with the governors of Borno, Gombe, Bauchi, Yobe, Taraba, Adamawa, after a meeting at the presidential villa yesterday. On the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, the lead headline says, "Insecurity. I have to create state police," says Tinubu. "Declare state of emergency in North to save us," says the NEF. Declaration excites Afenifere, ACF, MBF, others. "Nothing has changed in Yelwata since Tinubu's Benue visit," says Chief Leader. "Nations must link security with good governance to check terrorism," says Defense Minister. "Wants operationalization of ECOWAS standby force to be pursued with renewed vigor." You found that story on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. More headlines. Eid al-Maulud, federal government declares tomorrow public holiday. That's on page 13. Price hike, no subsidy on CNG, says federal government. That's on page 19. Alleged terrorism, DSS docks 9 over killings in Benue, Plateau. That's on page 7. Federal government not using anti-corruption agencies to witch hunt opposition, says minister. That's on page 13 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. NLC to federal government emulate states that pay above 70,000 naira minimum wage. That's on page 9. Sirika blames Air Peace United Asman for failure of Nigeria Air. Wow, that's on page 8. And in sports, 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying match, fans to pay 3,000 and 1,000 naira to see Eagles. That's from Mama Vubi. And these are the headlines making the rounds across the dailies this morning. We'll talk about them, help you make sense of these stories and more. All right, before we get started this morning, I'd like to bring up our analyst, Mr. Olali Konsani. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you, madam.
How do you do?
I'm very well. How about you?
We give glory to God. I mean, today's just the 4th, so happy new month. The month is still fairly new.
Oh, same to you. Happy new month to you.
All right.
I hope and pray it brings you all the success it has in it.
Amen. Okay. I think let's just get into the stories making the rounds. Now, on one of the dailies, I did see a story that was, very startling, and that's on the Daily Trust, where the lead headline said, "I can end banditry in 2 months," coming from the Zamfara state governor, making these statements to say he can end banditry in 2 months, especially that quote that's, was said to have come from him, saying that wherever the bandit leaders are, he knows. When they go out, he knows, and he can show on his phone. That's a very bold statement.
It is not a bold statement. It is something you would expect.
Is it factual?
No, it's what you would expect of any government to be in control of. There is something called intelligence gathering. 90% of what we have today is, in my opinion, intelligence failure. if we were to be running an intelligence-based security network, these things won't happen at all. And should they there happen, I mean, there are things we can crush within a matter of days, max weeks. I have been saying it here times and times and times and times over and over and over and over that the security polio of the country is something we can fix within 2 months. I don't know if I've told you that before. I can remember I've said it here countless times. And that is just the truth of the matter. Nigeria is a country that has everything it takes to wipe these guys out in a matter of days. The reason why we are not doing it is what I cannot explain. I don't know if I told you this last week or 2 weeks ago. In Zamfara State, they almost caught Bello Turji. I'm talking about CWG community. There are internal security mechanism there. They almost laid their hands on him until order came from above to back off. And at a particular point, you begin to wonder, what exactly is the federal
Is that
government?
official?
It is official from the same guy, the governor of Zamfara State. And at that particular time, you begin to wonder, I mean, what exactly is the problem here? I have said it here, what we have is not, Nigeria is not a failed state. Our leaders, are they a bunch of failures? 100%. But is the country a failed state? The country is not a failed state. The country has more than enough to protect the leaders. The leaders are fine. They are doing well. Nothing has ever happened to them. I don't pray anything bad happens to them. But what is good for the goose is good for the gander. If you can't protect yourself, why not protect the people? But instead of protecting the people, they're only protecting themselves. A failed state is such that cannot even protect an individual. But in our own country, our leaders are living large. They are doing fine. I mean, it's about focusing on themselves at the detriment of the people. But beyond that, I see wickedness here. I see not just insensitivity, wickedness, pure, sheer wickedness. I believe that our leaders, especially at the federal level, I'm talking about the guys running the military, SSS, NIA, police, it is safe to conclude that they are not really interested in bringing an end to what is happening now. Because we have heard a lot of horrible stories that you cannot even begin to explain. From the governor of Plateau State, they heard that, there was info that these bad boys were going to come to a particular location, and they informed the military, position your boys at this particular location because we got intel that these guys are coming. And yes, the military guys were there. And yes, again, these bad boys came. When they came, they were operating at a stone's throw from the military boys. The military boys could see them clearly, and they did not fire a shot at those people. Such that the governor of Plateau State said that he was going to tell the president there to take all the soldiers out of Plateau State and replace them with mobile police officers. For me, the reason for this is not far-fetched. 5 trillion naira every year to quench insecurity is enough to start insecurity if you do not pursue how that money goes.
So you're saying it's an incentive?
It is an incentive, in my opinion. It is an incentive. If you are giving somebody...
Because there are no checks and balances on how it's spent?
I don't believe the president is even interested in that. Looking at the nuances and the innuendos of the president, if he is safe to hell with any other person. If you are giving somebody a very large amount of money, you should be on that person's trail 24/7. How are you spending this money? Where is this money going? But these guys know too well that no matter what happens, next year it is going to be bigger than 5 trillion. The average individual would say, this thing must not handle. That is it, and that is all I can see here. That is all. We have all the fighter jets in the world to engage in intercontinental wars. Not even intra-Africa, intercontinental wars. And yet, we find it difficult to quench what is happening in our own country. That is not making sense to me.
All right, now, Governor Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State has accused political interference and lack of cooperation from security agencies of frustrating efforts to end the decade-long banditry crisis that has devastated the state. Apparently, he said this on Monday during a media briefing with local journalists in Gusau. He said that, I want to use his words now. He said, sometimes I can see the bandits moving around on my phone because of the technology we're using. I know where they are, where they go, and where they come from. But I cannot stop them because I have no power to command the security personnel. If I had that power, I swear within 2 weeks, we would end this problem. He said his own administration has engaged more than 2,000 hunters and vigilantes from Yobe and Maiduguri, placing them on monthly salaries and equipping them with vehicles and weapons. But he says that at one point, these recruits were barred from engaging bandits in Shinkafi after a directive was issued to halt their operations. He said, this is our biggest challenge. We have men on the ground, well motivated and ready to confront the bandits, but sometimes they are told not to act.
Exactly what I just told you.
And he went on to say, he said, he said, what has the, he was questioning the motive of the attackers. He said, what has, the common man done to you? If you want schools, I'll build schools. If you want hospitals, I'll provide hospitals. If you want water, I'll ensure you get water. Also, we can have peace. Then he said that security has been politicized, saying that anyone enjoying the situation or trying to use it for politics, may God disgrace them and expose their secrets.
The truth of the matter is that some of us have access to these guys. So when they talk to us in our private capacity, sometimes you find a way to enlighten the people with what we have heard from them. But, it's no longer what we heard from, our own private sources. Now it is in the dailies. There are no two ways about it. I mean, there is no controversy as regards what's on the ground. Look at these guys. They do not have any serious weapons. Countless instances you would hear from military chiefs, oh, those guys are armed today. It's about making excuse out of nothing.
But now that this governor has actually come out to say this, we haven't heard anything.
If someone like me...
We haven't heard anything from, the military forces. I know that a lot of people came for Nasir El-Rufai's head when he said what he said recently, but nobody has actually come out to counter what this government.
The truth of the matter is that
or to say let's work together.
If someone like me could have heard it weeks ago, those at the helms of affairs must have heard it, if not years ago. They are not bothered. That is just the truth of the matter. They are not bothered. Our security chiefs are an embodiment of disgrace. That is just the truth of the matter. You had a Commander-in-Chief. I mean, let's even start from the president. As far as I'm concerned, the president is not presidenting at all. Security, that is your biggest priority, because the number one job of the president, of the Commander-in-Chief, is to secure the lives and properties of Nigerians. And every day, everywhere you turn to, endless killings everywhere. Now talk about the Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa. As far as I'm concerned, he's a Nollywood drama king. He knows exactly what to say to sensationalize matters. Oh, there are 200 million weapons in Nigeria. Oh, there are bandits everywhere. We didn't appoint you to tell me what we know already. We appointed you so that we can fix the problem, not to repeat the problems into my headrooms every day. I'm not interested in that. But he doesn't strike me as someone who knows, well, he may know what he's doing, but what he's doing is not what someone like me would expect of my chief of defense staff.
Do you think, because several quarters said that the president hinted at state policing, establishing state police yesterday, do you think that establishing state police will solve in a way some of these issues?
It might not totally solve it.
Because from this governor who said, they had to do something and then another came from Abuja. But of course, if you have state police, it will be under the purview
of the state governor. Well, the truth of the matter is that the idea of state police is something that has its pros and cons. But at this particular point in time, we need to... I'm not sure there is anything that can be bigger than people losing their lives endlessly. The major headache someone like me might have with the issue of state police is governors using the machinery to witch hunt political opponents.
Because the elections are
yes, but it is happening at the federal level, and we are not dead yet. So
we'll come to that in a bit.
So whatever happens, okay. So let's leave that aside. The truth of the matter is, I believe that state police is going to help because they will have more weapons to go to wherever these guys may be. Of course, it is going to be better if they can have air support, aerial support. I mean, Air Force who are going to help them destabilize the guys before they move in. But, I can remember not so long ago, there was a personal rift between the Chief of Air Staff, not this administration, and the Chief of Army Staff, such that when Army personnel needed, air surveillance or air support, it didn't come. Simply because two idiots were fighting, as far as I'm concerned, that's who they are. See, we need to have a lot of coordination. That is where the commander-in-chief comes in. As the president, everybody listens to you. Even if you don't like what I am saying, you must carry out what I'm saying like your life depends on it. And that is what we have been missing in this country. That is exactly what we have been. We do not have hands-on commander-in-chiefs, and that is unfortunate. The last one we had was Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. This is my order. Follow it through. But since then, we have had the president was, you read it not too long ago that Tortiv, the highest traditional ruler in TV land, said that since the president came to Yawata, nothing has happened. It has been daily killings. And in all seriousness, it is tiring. I am tired of it. It's something that should not be happening. Nigeria has everything it takes to wipe out this nonsense within 2 weeks, maximum. We are not doing it, and people are dying. How exactly is that not going to traumatize a normal human being? What these guys have in their veins is what I do not know, but I don't believe it is human blood.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sani, for that. We'll take a look at other stories this morning on Perspectives Unlimited. President Tinubu says, my reforms have restored Nigeria's global respect. We'll take a short break soon, but I'll just take this story, then we'll come back to discuss. Now, the president on Tuesday apparently said his administration's bold economic reforms, which aim to restore Nigeria to its enviable positions, are achieving favorable results. He said the country's economy is now stable and attracting interest from around the world. This is what he said. He said, the bleeding has stopped. Hemorrhage is gone. The patient is alive. He said this when he received the Shonwo of Ogumosho land of Agandi Olaoye in audience with some other royal fathers at the State House. And this was disclosed to us by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga. He said, all of the bad things that have been happening have turned over and they're now good. Years of neglect and self-deception, fake records, smuggling, and all the things that denied Nigeria the necessary revenue for progress and development. Everything. Corruption, the integrity of the country. He said the actions they took, they had to. And with our prayers, our patience and perseverance and great understanding, he is glad to tell us that the economy is stabilized. He highlighted the NEL Fund to ensure that no students would drop out because of poverty, So, yeah, and those are some of the things that he spoke about. And apparently the monarch went there with requests, for some things. And so he promised to engage the ministers of power, water resources, agriculture, and works to look into the monarch's requests.
Are you telling me the monarch went there without emphasis on Oduekun-Ayoola Road? I expected to hear works minister as well.
Yeah. There's works minister there as well.
Okay.
Power, water resources, agriculture, and works.
Seriously, work should have been number one, because I was in Oduekun yesterday.
He commended the president for awarding the contracts for dualization of the Oyo-Ogbomoso road, which had been abandoned for decades.
That's complete.
Saying that the road will spur economic activities as a significant gateway to the north. We'll take a short break, Mr. Sani.
No, before that break, that is nonsense.
Perspectives Unlimited will continue. Don't go anywhere. Please stay with us.
FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour. I am so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Yomi on 0706 616 5053. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go! Hey there! Want to stay connected to your favorite radio station? Follow us on social media for the latest updates, entertaining wholesome content, and behind-the-scene peaks. We're on Instagram at Wells Radio 893, Facebook Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, X Wells Radio 893. Follow our WhatsApp channel Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Get a scoop on upcoming shows, giveaways, and events. Also get to interact with your favorite presenters and share your thoughts on our posts and stories. Join the conversation and stay tuned into Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
right, you're welcome back. It's Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. The studio lines are open. You can be a part of the conversation this morning by calling our phone lines. We would like to hear your perspectives. 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, and 0911 3333893. I'll take the numbers again: 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, and 0911 3333893. Don't forget that you can also send your comments to our WhatsApp platform. Yes, 0915 4999893. I'll take that number again: 0915 4999893. Okay, so you can send your comments to our WhatsApp platform, and you can drop your comments on Facebook because we're currently live on Facebook. So it's Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. All right. As I said, we're going to talk about this, when we come back from the break, and we're talking about the President Bola Tinubu saying that, the economy is back. Is the economy indeed back, Mr. Bolanle Konsani? What are the pointers? What should be the pointers that the economy is back?
The pointers are me and you. The looks on our faces. These are the things you need to consider. I mean, the state of our health, how much flesh we have on our body, and the tone of our skin. I dare you to go to the gate of your, magnificent building and look at the faces of people walking the streets. And you would know too well that, as they say in Yoruba, there are a lot of gaps in what the president has been saying this thing since Monday. And in all seriousness, God is my witness, it has been lies upon lies upon lies upon lies. He said the biggest lie when he hosted some of his political friends from the northern part of the country. And he said that when he came on board, the conversion rate for $1 to a naira was 1,900. Nothing can be farther from the truth than that. When he became president, the CBN rate was 471 naira. And I'm talking about May 29, 2023.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Aderonke from Muslim.
Good morning, Aderonke. Let's have your contribution this morning.
Concerning the insecurity, so I heard that in the news that the president said he's ready to create state police. And we all know that creating state police is long overdue. But how would they be able to manage it without being hijacked by the state governors to use it against the opposition and anyone against their government? As a due diligence, most must be taken into consideration before its operation. And if it is properly implemented, so I think it will help reduce the crime and criminals around the communities and villages, because everyone knows everyone, even at middle of the night. So you'll be able to identify your community member. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Aderonke. Very true, because when it comes to information gathering, it starts at the local, areas. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, West Radio.
Good morning to you, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is George. I'm calling you from Oduekun-Ayoola.
You're welcome, Mr. George. Thank you for calling. Let's have your perspective, sir.
Let me start from where Aderonke stopped. We should not just start it now by wondering how we're going to be able to manage it. Because we all have been saying that is the best thing that we are looking forward to, state police. We should allow him to create it first, if really is going to create it. Then we watch how it's going before we start knowing where it's failing or where it's successful. That is that of the state police. We look forward to it. I had it too on one of the news items. Let them create it. I will see how far it goes. I don't know if our press is really free from monitoring from the government. I see how you and Mr. Sani have been struggling on whether you should talk about this Obomosho report during the Chairman's visit concerning things that are happening around it. We should make our press to be very free. Some of us who are calling, it's not because we are getting something from our calls, but because of our concern for what is happening around us. That is why we are calling. And we are spending our resources to do it. Let the press be free. Let us talk. That is what I want us to do. Because some of the things the president is bringing us, they are nothing but lies. The call is, you just speak English, throw things down as if you are talking to people who do not hear or who do not see or who are not living within the environment that you are reeling these things from. It's a good thing for a leader to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. George. And we can assure you that as long as it doesn't, contravene the journalistic code and ethics, especially of our oversight agency, the NBC, whatever is true, and does not incite violence, you definitely hear it on Perspectives Unlimited. And yes, we're coming to the Shomo Ogumosho's visit. We just have to start with the beginning of the story, which has to do with the claims that the president made. Mr. Sani, you were speaking.
Yeah, thank you. The president told a very big lie. He said, okay.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, West Radio.
Hello, good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Oh, my name is Salami. I'm calling from Awosho.
You're welcome, Mr. Salami. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. God bless you, ma. Mr. Salami, good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
You see, for me, all right, God bless you, sir. For me, Mr. President is free to say anything to applaud his administration. I've said it before now, that nobody will have the privilege of marking his script and marking his desk down. So, Mr. President is free to say, his administration has taken Nigeria to end the radio, this and that. How realistic is that? It's left for us to see. However, and more importantly, for me this morning, there was a newspaper you read that really gladdens my heart, and that is the claim by our state governor that he can end insecurity in 2 months if given the chance. I think that is the more area which we actually be focusing on now, because that's a direct investment on Mr. President. So we have been battling for insecurity, Boko Haram, banditry for over 15 years or all they are about. Help is now, there now seems to be less at the end of the tunnel for Nigeria on this. I would have expected that Mr. President would have, started this guy. My brother, let's see what we can do. Not like together, if the president is truly, committed to ending insecurity in this country. Because we have now had a ray of hope from at least a quarter that can be held to some extent of sort. That's it. So that is it. Good morning, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Salami. Very important words said there. All right, Mr. Sani, we're talking about the president's claim.
Falsehood number 1, conversion rate. The second one, he said the economy is better today, that the bleeding has stopped. In all seriousness, we are suffering acute anemia, shortage of blood. We have run out of blood. We are now gasping because we are at the threshold of death. Literally. Everybody you talk to right now is lamenting bitterly. He now said something about customs. He said what the Nigerian customs is expecting, what they have gathered in the first 6 months, went beyond the target they gave them. There is no way that was not going to be the case. If you look at the import tariff, as far as I'm concerned, it is a crime perpetrated by the government against the citizens of this country.
So it shouldn't be that...
It shouldn't be that high. In fact, it's no longer high. It is astronomical. That's that. Aside that, they now added extra 4% FOB. Like, I was talking to a friend in that sector. He said that for you to know how crazy things have become in this country, it is cheaper to bring a container from Singapore to Nigeria than taking that Singapore from Tinkan in Lagos to Warri Port. You can imagine that level of, insanity.
And of course, that will reflect on the price of the goods, and it's the end users.
Of course, it's you and I who are going to pay for that at the end of the day. Aside that, if you want to be a licensed agent, clearing and forwarding agent, what they were paying was 515,000. This administration has taken it to 10 million naira. So how will they not have money? I was talking to my people within the system, Nigerian Customs, and they said not one single container has landed at Onne port in River State because people are no longer importing. It doesn't make sense to import now. If you want to export, problem. If you want to import, problem. The rates are killing. And that is what we are saying. If you have reached your revenue target for the year, if truly you want to help Nigerians, why not slash the import tariff? You don't need the money anymore. Going by what you said, you already have what you plan to have for this whole year. So why not slash the import tariff so that Nigerians can actually enjoy something at the end of the day? But no, that is not happening. The president said he has carried out reforms. As far as I'm concerned, I wish he was here so that I can say it to his face. He has not carried out one single reform.
Nel Fund.
Nel Fund is nonsense. It's about enslaving the future of our young people. Before this guy became president, UI was collecting 40,000 naira as tuition. Now it's 400,000, 10 folds. Why? Number one, the cost of running the school has jumped up. Power, things like that, done by this administration as well. And number two, the federal government is no longer paying some subvention to the schools. Before this administration came on board, the federal government was paying between 40 to 60% of school fees of Nigerian students. That's the fact. But now, it's gone, just like subsidy. And yet, the same person is saying that the country is getting better. Let's now go to the Sean of Gomosho. The Sean embarrassed himself yesterday. What he went there to do, in my opinion, was the opposite of what he should have gone there to do. And he told a very big lie again. I do not understand why these guys lie when they're in the presence of guys in power. He said the Oyo-Gomosho road had been abandoned for decades. That is royal rascality. The immediate past administration of Muhammadu Buhari almost completed that road. It's a road I use like almost every week. I can close my eyes and drive on that road. That is how much I understand the road. Buhari awarded the contract to a reputable company. If you want me to mention the name of the company, I will. RCC, Reynolds Construction Company. That is the second, in my opinion, second best construction company in the country after Julius Berger. And if you see the quality of that road, you cannot but pray for Buhari, no matter his flaws. I do not fancy him, but if he scored high in a particular area, let's say he scored high. Oyo-Gomosho, fantastic road, very wide road, massive road, beautiful asphalt laying. He didn't complete the road, but I can tell you that he did all the bridges up to Ogdomosho. And not just all the bridges, he graded the road. The only thing remaining was asphalt laying. And what we have to cover is not more than 15 kilometers. This administration came, revoked that license, and awarded to a company linked to the chief of staff to the president. The name of the company is JRB. And they now award it at a rate of almost 150 billion naira. If you do the mathematics, we're talking about 10 billion naira per kilometer for a road that has been graded, farming, people into construction, know what I'm talking about. All the bridges done already. For laying asphalt for 1 kilometer, you are doing 10 billion. That is a crime against the people of Nigeria. Guess what the JRB has done for like 4 months now? They did not even bring in stones. They crushed rocks by the side of the road and poured the little stones they could get from the rocks they broke into pieces, not covering more than 500 meters on that road. That is the only thing JRB has done in 4 months after collecting 150 billion naira. and the monarch went there to praise the people doing the road to your city. Like, I mean, that's nonsense. That's bootlicking, in my
Let me
opinion.
ask a question, Mr. Sani.
Please go ahead.
In all of this,
Okay.
what we can see is a lack of checks and balances. Now, how do the people do this? Because again, a lot of times they say, "Oh, this money." One theme that has been recurrent in this administration has been the complaints of people about excessive amounts being earmarked for
Projects.
Yes, for
Projects that you won't even see at the end of the day.
Projects that shouldn't cost
a fraction of the money.
amount.
Just two things, madam.
Where does how do we ensure these checks and balances?
Naturally, our National Assembly members should be the ones to do that for us. But unfortunately, in my opinion, they have sold their souls to whoever they want to sell it to. At that particular point in time, we need to understand as Nigerians that this country belongs to us.
Just a minute. Let's take this call, please. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, West Radio.
Good morning, sir.
George calling back.
All right, please go ahead, Mr. George.
You see, each time I listen to our president talk, especially concerning the issue of the progress made, I just see that he dreams of money. He wakes up thinking of money. He wakes up making success from the amount of money he's getting. In most cases, it's not for the interest of the masses of this country. This issue of him awarding contracts to people close to him or friends or his own family members. If it were to be in any country like this, Chinese or all these things, he may be enjoying this, what they call it, immunity now. By the time he leaves that government, he will vomit everything. Okay, in Nigeria, it will not happen. So many have gone there and they did more than this, and yet they are free. So you are talking of who is checking him. Who will check him? The National Assembly is under him. The judiciary is under him. Everything, they have captured everything. It's now state government now that they are capturing. By the time they finish everything, you will see that the second term that he's pursuing is not going to be for him to just amass wealth and he will go like that and nobody will talk. We pray that God, who has made this place a country, will intervene and make sure that Nigeria is free. Because I don't see him really thinking of making any progress in the area of managing the affairs of this country for the interest of the masses. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your call.
The truth of the matter is that there is no way you will be a Nigerian and not believe it if you look at what is on the ground and what is coming out of the mouth of the president. You said something about what can we do at this particular point in time. The people who sent to Abuja, two categories of people, executive, those ones are the guys who are going to make the deals, who are going to, take action. And the legislature, we're talking about people who should be the ones checking the excesses of those taking the action. Both of them are in the same direction as far as I'm concerned. It's now left to us as Nigerians to come out. Anything you want to do for as long as it is peaceful, you have the right to assemble wherever you are in the name of protest or whatever. Just don't get violent. Don't disturb the peace of society. Don't block roads. Don't do that. But at this particular point in time, Nigerians need to speak out because these guys don't care. There is no hand to what they can do. We have seen all sorts of horrible things done by administrations in Nigeria, past and present. But as far as I'm concerned, once again, as far as I'm concerned, this president is the worst in the history of the country. Not just that he's the worst in the history of the country. This is the time Nigerians have, lost hope in the system the most. And that is strategic. It is about taking your eyes off what they are doing. I don't care about what they are doing. I'll survive. You cannot. That's just the truth of the matter. The government decides and determines everything. Years ago, people were saying that, oh, no matter the price of fuel, I'll buy it. Today, how many people can fill up their tanks? Except they are traveling. And for that, they must have saved. I mean, it's not making sense. That's not how to live life.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sani, for your comments on that. Now, let's move on to other stories making the rounds across the different dailies in the country. The Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, the PCNGI, has clarified that the federal government does not provide subsidies on CNG, that's the compressed natural gas, following the recent hike in pump prices by some operators. In a statement yesterday, the PCNGI explained that pricing decisions are solely at the discretion of the private sector players, while stressing that government agencies will continue to guard against exploitation of consumers. I've had this discussion with a ride-share driver, who said, the man was visibly frustrated.
Everybody is.
He said they told us that the CNG would be cheaper and, more durable, and that's why he left petrol.
So what he ran from?
And so he said he spent a lot of money in fitting his car with the CNG engine. He said, but what he realized is that the price keeps going up for no reason.
The truth of the matter is that this administration took almost everybody for a ride. When that thing started, then I knew too well that it was a scam, it was a hoax, and now it has come to fall. I can remember then it was 200 naira. Until recently, 230 naira. And all of a sudden, from 230 to 480, that's over 100%. That is criminal. And they said one agency of government is going to ensure that Nigerians are not going to be exploited or something like that. What is it that can make something, from the angle of economics and common sense and logic, what is it that can make a commodity go from 230 to 480 in a flash, if not for exploitation? For me, as far as I'm concerned, it's a case of, bring in CNG, you're my boy, sell it at any rate you want to sell it. It's as good as that. Because, I'm a businessman. Nothing can justify this. Nothing rationalizes this. It's not making sense whatsoever.
All right, let's take a look at some comments on our Facebook page as we gradually wrap up the show this morning. Adewumi Kazim Adeka says, good morning, well done from New Garage. Thank you so much. Adeboshi Otaubayomi, apologies, but this is your comments are in Yoruba. I can't exactly get it, but she says Ekara Kujumo. Thank you so much, sir. Sulaiman Shari says, good morning and kudos to everyone in the studio. Creation of state police is a welcome development to strengthen the security architecture of this country, which is on the verge of collapse already. Here in the southwest region like Oyo, Osun, and Ogun State, we can feel the impact of Amotekun Corps by complementing the efforts of security agencies to fight against criminal elements. But those Amotekun Corps need to be equipped with modern firearms and not with Dane guns. He says, only fools praise themselves, particularly when in reality they are far from such praises. That's exactly what APC has been doing since 10 years ago. Revenue are growing for the government while the citizens are going to bed hungry. What a deceptive government. In other parts of the world, as the government revenue increases, the citizens are living comfortably. Example, Saudi Arabia, Norway, China, etc. All right, Favor Dami says, well done, Sama. Daria Kande says, good morning, sir. I am Sugar, all the way from Oduekun-Ayoola. Thank you to everyone who has joined the conversation. We wish we had more time because there's still so much more to talk about. But don't go away. You know why? Because the AM Sports Crew is coming up next. And after that, you're going to have Agbiye Uriya Bomagbe. Mr. Sani will also be on that show. So don't go away. It's a galore of wholesome, informative shows this morning. Thank you so much, Mr. Sani.
It is always an honor to be here.
A big thank you to those who called. And I want to say something. Don't lose hope. I think that's one of the greatest things that can befall, a person. As Nigerians, we should not lose hope. Don't despair. Continue to do right in your own corner of the world, and with time, things will get better. That's it on the show this morning. Thank you for listening. I am Bolanle Oduekun-Ayoola. Good morning and God bless you. listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you. Not just another radio station. Wells Radio 89.3 FM